Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome to the channel. This is Ari aka Vox. Welcome to the very first episode of Inner Voice, where I will be talking about music, games, and all of my creative projects running at the moment. You know, it's been a rough year or so, I would say, because I haven't been out there, playing music, DJing, and my deck's just gathering dust somewhere in the background, and I haven't touched it in a while. But I have been working on my music, and as you might know, my EP is dropping in like 2 days. This one right here. So, I guess that's what kind of started this whole idea of sharing the process and sharing the creative process. I say process, but the creative ideas behind like what inspired the EP and all of this. But it might evolve into something more. It's not a set in stone kind of thing, just like how I do things by the flow, with the flow rather. So I might have guests on, might talk about their kind of music, what they're interested in, what they're listening to, and all of that other stuff related to the local creative industry, and it might even evolve from there. So for those of you who are kind of surprised that I'm doing this, I don't think it's really a huge leap from what I normally do, or rather from what I have done, because probably not a lot of you guys know this. I used to be a blogger. I used to be a blogger, a photographer, which kind of led me into DJing and music production. So, vlogging, not really a huge difference, except for the medium, I guess, and getting used to the whole setting up your camera and talking into the camera stuff. So hey, that's Inner Voice. I hope you guys enjoy this new thing that I'm trying out, just to touch base and like keep in touch with you guys. It's hard being out there right now. This is a chill thing, it's just a conversation kind of thing. So grab a drink, I don't know, go out for a smoke if you smoke. I don't know if I should mention that, probably not. Hey kids, don't smoke, it's bad for you. Sit back, relax. This is the first episode of Inner Voice. Enjoy. I started blogging in like Form 3, which is like nuts, right? Like, who would want to read a blog by a teenager? I was doing that up until my uni days, so I guess that's about 3-4 years of blogging, I suppose. So my blogging days, or my blogging habit, I guess you could say, led me to a photography gig with a lifestyle magazine. So this lifestyle magazine was from KK, and it was called Breeze magazine. I don't know if some of you guys might have heard of this. So Breeze was around for I think a year or two, and what we had to do back then was just go out to the bars, to the clubs, to parties, events, whatever, and just take photos of the people who were there. I don't know what was the purpose, I guess people just like seeing themselves in magazines, just to stroke their ego, or I don't know, just cut them out and save it into like a notebook somewhere. I don't know, whatever floats your boat, man. Whatever floats your boat. But we would do this like twice in a month. I think once every 2 weeks, right? So we would go out and take photos, and I don't know, I guess it was kind of fun. So this job kind of led me to, linking up or networking with the DJs of the time. There's Afiq Wazai, there's Shafiq Ian, there's Meng, Mick Davis, Christopher Biggie. I don't know, there's a lot of names to list down, but these are the OGs, and mad respect to them. So some of them are done with the DJ life. They've either got full-time jobs or other commitments to focus on. Some are probably still doing it once in a while, based, I guess, like project basis, you could call it. But yeah, these are the guys who were there when I started. So I just linked up with them and got kind of interested in music. Okay, here's the thing. I was always into music, but I was never trained in music. I never had classes. You know how the Asian stereotype of like parents sending their kids for classes after school. I never really had those. So I guess you could say all these things are alien to me, but at the same time, music is not an entirely foreign concept because I was exposed to electronic music at an early age through video games. So, games, electronic music, it's not like these days, right? Where Spotify, you have Apple Music, where you can just pick out a track, or even YouTube Music, you can pick out a track, loop the track over and over again until you satisfy yourself. No, we didn't have those back then. So, I played a lot of games and I listened to a lot of music in the background. So I guess you could say that my current music is highly influenced by video game music. Actually, if I were to be really specific, it's probably 8-bit and 16-bit music, because there's a lot of video game music out there, right? But yes, chiptune music, all of this, kind of close to electronic music, but not exactly the same. Same, but different, but not really same. I guess, apples and pears. Okay, back to you, Ari. So that's DJing, I did that for a couple of years, and then I started getting gigs, I started getting residencies, and that's cool and all, but I wanted something more, you wanted that extra special something in your sets. You want to have original remixes, you wanted to have original edits, and then with the rise of Tomorrowland and all this festivals, right, it's oh shoot, I wonder what would happen if my my mashups and my remixes gets played by Hardwell, blah 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 blah. It's a weird motivator, but I guess that's what got me into it, and then I just started doing more and more remixes and bootlegs, and then here it is, the first EP after so long. Yeah, but production, that was a weird journey, because I remember doing my first track, I feel, was a remix of Bon Iver, I think it's Iver because it's a French thing, right? The song is called Perth, and I just remember spending a lot of time on that track, just figuring out, oh no, how does this work? How does Ableton work? I remember people asking me, hey, what are you doing? Because I remember those days, I sat at Starbucks a lot, after uni, I would just go over and work on my stuff. And I would have my headphones on, and then I was just the Starbucks guy, because I met a lot of people, who are friends and acquaintances now, who knew me as Starbucks guy. Did a couple of remixes there, because I didn't have a studio back then. What the I only had my headphones and my laptop. That was it. I didn't have a mini keyboard. I didn't have mini keyboard. I didn't have a MIDI keyboard. I didn't have a PC. I didn't have a proper workstation. My workstation was a desk and an Americano, and that was it. So I worked on that, and then I think I did a remix of Kimbra's Warrior as well. I think it's Kimbra and A-Track Warrior. And then from there, I started doing originals. One track, it's called One. It's terrible. Now that I listen back to it, it's absolutely terrible. I don't like it. I don't know. I guess it's there still in my SoundCloud on private, so that it reminds me of how I started. So I started doing another track called Stardust, I think. Those were never released. Cloud9, yeah, that was never released as well. Yeah, but I played them up a couple of times just to test the waters, I guess you could say. And Stardust was, yeah, so some people liked it. Dabush, I think he heard me play the song and he was like, oh my god, your song makes me sakit perut. But hey, I'm not snitching out on anyone, but sakit perut could mean a lot of things. So all of those tracks, they were never properly released on streaming platforms or anything like that. The only one which was released was Aurora, and that basically started this whole thing of seriously doing music. And the idea behind the EP, where I kind of promised myself to make it real, was last year when I was out with Tasha, and we just kind of talked about it. This was after the re-release of Love Collide, and I just told her, I've been doing this for so long, and I need to make something, I guess, solid. I need to put my feet on the ground and just work on something. So I told her last year, I think that was around August or something. Yeah, I promised her it's time. So I just gave myself a little bit more time to prepare and all of this stuff, to research, whatever. And then like end of last year was kind of busy as well, because we were kind of going back to, you know, performing and recovering. But then things happen and we're back to square one. So January of this year, I was like, okay, do or die, gotta do this. So that's it. Like, I don't really talk about my history a lot. Like, not many people probably know about this. Only my close friends. But hey, you know, the opportunity was there. I guess we talk about it, you know. It's good to look back and see what, you know, I guess inspired you to do it in the first place, and remind you that how far, you know, remind you of how far you've come along. And the joy that all of that brings, you know, because sometimes you just forget and you start thinking about other things and you get discouraged, when actually that was not even your real intention in the first place. I don't know if that makes sense, but you know, let's say you like drawing, you know, you just like drawing for the sake of drawing, but one day you start earning money and you start thinking about money more than the feeling that it gives you. You know, and that sucks. Of course, money is important and all, but you know, sometimes you just gotta remind yourself to keep yourself grounded. So that's how it all started, man. Like vlogs, this whole thing, this whole project. Oh shoot, I didn't even talk about like how I got the name. So, okay, I've got a lot of people asking me this as well. Like, what is Vox? How do you pronounce it? Is it Vo? Is it Vox? Like, because Vo is a French word, and I guess Web Legions, we don't follow them, right? So Vox actually came from this word, and it's an alternate spelling of that, I guess. Because I don't want to confuse people with the amplifier brand. I think it's an amplifier brand. So, alternate spelling and all that. So yeah, that's just briefly what it is, you know? The voice. Oh, yeah, it's Latin in voice.
What?
Which kind of inspired the title of this show as well, Inside Voice. So, you know, full circle and all that. So yeah, tomorrow, because I'll be dropping like 2 videos in a row, I'll be talking about the EP itself. So episode 1, just a little bit of background, just relaxed, nothing too heavy. Second episode, background, I mean, just like creative process of the EP and all of that other stuff that you probably don't really care about. And that's it for the very first episode of Inner Voice. You know, if you watched up until this point, thank you very much for tuning in. I really appreciate it. This is all new to me. You know, I could appreciate some feedback down in the comments, I guess. See, segue tune on point. But yeah, like I said, if you enjoyed this, like if you watched up until this point, consider liking, consider subscribing, consider sharing. I don't know, what do people do, man? But yeah, consider sharing to your friends and letting them know that, hey, DJ Vox is alive and well. He's not in a ditch somewhere. You know, the guy who used to play backstage, Barber, Mozo, all of this stuff, he's still alive. It's fine. So yeah, I'm gonna drop episode 2 tomorrow. In conjunction with the release of the EP, 2 episodes back to back. But after that, it will probably be a weekly thing. Maybe we'll see how the schedule goes, man. Like I said, I go with the flow. I'm not a set kind of guy, but I would like to make it a weekly thing, just like how we used to meet on the weekends, you know, Fridays, Saturdays back then. So I hope you guys have a good day. See you guys soon.